myself together for the world. Just want to come on here, man, and have a discussion. People always say, what's the importance of Black history, and why is it important? But I just rather look at it like this. You gotta ask yourself. I'm gonna try to wrap this up real quick. I ain't gonna try to drag it out and be like super long, but you gotta ask yourself, where did all the racism go? So from 1600 to to present time, you gotta ask yourself, where did all the racism go? You know what I'm saying? As they say, man, energy never dies. It just comes in another form. So where did it go? As a critical thinking person, I have to ask myself, like, man, where did it go? Did they just one day decide, hey, we're not gonna do this no more in its entirety, and bury it in the backyard? You gotta ask yourself, where did it go from 1600 to now? It was racism in the NBA, it was racism in the restaurant industry, it was racism in sports, NASCAR, NASA. It was discrimination and all these type of practices, government, um, education, sports, news, music, the food industry, um, the Builders Association, the unions. It was racism in all the what as life in present time. So where did it all go? Did they just bury it? Did they come up with laws such as affirmative action to give you the illusion that it's gone, but it's really still in a different and it's manipulated? So I actually what Black people has felt. Has it been modified? I don't want to say the new, I just want to say, has it been modified? Because you got to think, where did it all go? Did they have a funeral for it? Like when something is dead or something is gone, it's usually like a demolition. Dude, they never came together and said, look, this is the Constitution book. We're gonna put a C4 on it, and that's the demolition work. It's gone. We're gonna create a constitution in its entirety for everybody. Has that happened? No, it hasn't happened. So again, you have to, I'm fairly young compared to somebody that's from them times, but my mother told me, this in like 1990, blacks couldn't even go to Arby's. And granted, times have changed. Black people like get money with Arby's. Like we have the meats. No Diddy, no Diddy, no none of that. But we doing the musical for their commercials. Blacks in almost every commercial space doing the music. We the face. We the soundtrack. We the energy that gets you excited around it. You know what I'm saying? So that's changed. That wasn't happening then, but where did all the racism go? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did it all go? From education, you know what I'm saying, to the college sectors. First we couldn't get into schools. Now we in the school. And how does that look? How do we know all those? They still have, like, you still have respect and responsibility means you gotta attend in college that still talks about racism. The very same thing that they claim was on the torch. We getting a little older. Don't nobody want to listen to us. So I was reluctant for years. I think it's out like, and I don't say I want to talk about this stuff all the time, but I do have kids, and I one day want them to be like, dang, what did my daddy know? So that's why I leave all this stuff behind. But I hope it helps you. Comment, share it, whatever, man. Drop a comment, subscribe. More importantly, well, I don't even say subscribe. If you like it, just drop a comment. If you choose to subscribe, I'll be keeping more content. But let me get back to the point. I just asked, where did it go? Like when you get in your car today and you go outside, predominantly maybe like 80%, depending on where you at or located geographically. 80% of the police, 80% of the people that's enforcing the law, they used to call them peace officers. They used to keep the peace. They actually, a lot of them causing disturbance, amongst black people. So you know what I'm saying? Like, where did all the racism go? Even in the force, even in the force, police used to be called peace officers. So, but they got so many reports against them. It's like, man, a citizen arrest is not a citizen's arrest is not even like in a question in some areas. So you got to ask yourself, where did all this racism go? In this month, take all that away. Just ask yourself, if you're in an urban community, you go outside, just ask yourself, where the fuck did all the racism? Like, man, this city, like, they told us it was dinosaurs here, right? Man, I ain't seen a dinosaur. If you seen a dinosaur, put a thumbs up and an emoji and let me know where you seen them. The Constitution says it's supposed to be equal rights, justice for all, da 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 da, da due process, blah da da da, blah 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 blah. That's not the case. Because if you look, it's 2/3 of the population of black men incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So did they modify it to say, hey, we can't blatantly just do this, but we gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's every white person fault that black men are in jail. I'm not saying even just look at the conditions. I'm just saying look at it. Look at the construct of the idea of where did all the racism go? It's even racism in education. Like they got something called learning, right? Like this what we doing right here. Like this is learning. Like we I don't want to say learning. We conversing. You where you at around me, right? Then they got something called basic education. Then they got something called higher learning. So even just with that in itself, and people, scholars know we got our mind absorbs. Our mind is really, it's really powerful. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to destroy the mind. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get into like the conspiracy theory thing with the food and all of that, but to keep it short, you just got to look at that concept. Why is it basic education? And why is it something called higher education? You know what I'm saying? Do you just want people to be at a basic level? They're just like, if you was really thinking, like, wouldn't you start me off on the higher? Wouldn't you tell me, hey man, I would just rather give you the higher education, get the basic education. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sound to some people who think on the lower level that might not make sense, but you know what I mean. You could even look at it with wages. You know what I'm saying? They used to call them slave wages. Now it's called minimum wage. So it's like, this the minimum I want to pay you. This the minimum I want to pay you. And if it wasn't for the law, you wouldn't get, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at these things and just ask yourself, where did it go? Did they, like, just ask that question. I know people don't wake up and just be like, damn, where did this thing go? Do you know that I don't know if y'all big numbers people, but I just look at it like this. I just say this for example. Louis Vuitton, as powerful as Louis Vuitton is, like nobody, nobody with money, no nobody in power or nothing like that. They used to have like slaves. They used to have like black people in like slave museums, like with this shit up. Like a lot of their money came from like that particular time in life. Now this is a celebrated brand. And I just say Hugo Boss. Like who Hugo Boss designed a Hitler outfit. Hugo Boss. They like sell this at Macy's. Like they okay with just alley ooping you with something, and most people don't know what's going on. I'm talking about Hugo Boss. He designed Hitler outfits. Like this like racism. Like they hated people at one time too. So it's like, damn, he can design an outfit, but he can still do business in America and like Macy's, J.C. Penney, Hugo Boss everywhere. That's just something. That's game. But that's the truth. That ain't even game. That's the truth. So you look at it like, damn, Louis Vuitton. They benefited off that. Hugo Boss obviously benefited off that. Like, where did all this hate go? Like, where did it go? You know what I'm saying? Where did it go, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? when you look at the big picture, you have to ask yourself, damn, where did it go? Like, man, we couldn't just be allowed to read a book, you know. Like, so how did they modify that? Oh, we'll get them these books. We'll control history. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I asked the question like, where did it go? But I'm gonna give you something to support that. You know, if Texas Instrument, the people that make the calculators, like if you got children, the people who you know, the calculator people, they're in Texas. Texas control the whole, like, uh, they control the whole, like, what everybody learning in the curriculum in the, like, the K through 12 system. So if Texas don't rock with it, like if Texas want Black history out the textbook, Black history is coming out the textbook. That's a Texas call. So y'all share this, man. Y'all make sure y'all get that. I don't want to say get it out there, but if you feel like it's informative, get it out there, share it. You know what I mean? I just think it's something like I've been holding too long, and I have to, like, get it out. So today I choose to get it out. But Texas Instrument, if they want, like, let's say they want Mexican history not in the textbook, it's coming out because Texas had that much influence. Now you got to think why Texas. You know what I'm saying? Texas gives the most to the system. It gives the most to the public sector or the education system. So you got to ask yourself, where did it all go? That's a form of racism? If I could, like I just said, like if you tell me it's, I got certain rights and certain this and certain that, but yet you remove my whole history out of textbook. How the hell am I gonna know the origins? Like why? Like how am I know the how did we get here? Like you know, you just can't say a tree is a tree. Like you gotta look at the bottom. I got a root. Like it has to have a base. Like what is the root of the tree? Like I can't just say that that's a tree. Like it come from somewhere. So I just raised the where did it go from 1600 to now. Even in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many discrepancies and things that need to be modified to why people in certain conditions and why all our music got to be a certain way. Like why is it like that? Like who made it like that? Like if we talking fairness, like in fair trade, that's not fair. Anything we going through when we talk fair trade it's not fair. The disparities is too wide, it's too big, you know what I mean? On every level, you know what I'm saying? But again, you got to think from 1600 to now, where did it go? Who power is passed down? You know what I'm saying? The power is usually passed down unless you just self-made, and these are like a lot of rare these cases are really rare. Like who can say they're a millionaire without borrowing money from a banking institution? Who can say they're a millionaire without they done made somebody else 5 million? But that's how these systems is set up. You know what I'm saying? So us being last to get into a lot of these sectors, though they have gateway entries for us, it's going to be so hard to catapult into like the guy or the person because the system is not set up like that. And people could say, "Oh, that's free will. It's free will. It's not free. It's delusion. Is free." You know what I'm saying? The illusion is free. That's what's free. The actual doing is not. It's noble guys. We can talk about Martin Luther King, one of the most noble people to walk the planet. Dead. This man never used a firearm, to my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Stephanie. What's up, Stephanie? This man never used a firearm to our knowledge, so it's just like, you look at they gotta ask yourself what if they knocking out people. If Martin Luther King probably ain't killed a fly, but if good guys like that is going through, that what do you think? What do you think? An ambitious person, with a different mentality gonna go through, and that's nonviolence. So imagine if you became educated. Imagine if you became violent in the education way. Like you took all you took all this information and you tried to do something, build economically your own community, go back to your homeland. Imagine what's gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But I'm just asking the question: where did it all go? You know, where did it go? Nobody don't talk about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have discriminate. We have so many. We got so many things to unlearn and undo. And I think it's gonna take your lifetime and probably your kids' lifetime. But we got to at least raise the question. You know what I mean? We almost got cars driving themselves to some extent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we could set up, we definitely could speed this up. But a lot of people just gotta wake up. You know, a lot of people gotta become more aware. And I know these constraints certain things that you gotta deal with in everyday life, like working and da da da, and so on and so on. It make it hard to really, you know, key in on things like this. That the liberation is what's gonna free you. Real liberation. I'm talking about the real stuff. You know, the real things. You know what I'm saying? But liberation don't pay the bills. I ain't saying quit your jobs and go be liberated, but you really you can't compromise your integrity for celebrity, for money, for a raise, because you know, as I was told, man, happiness is what happens to you. You know, joy is, you can't take joy from somebody. So, you know, I would say focus on the joy versus the happiness. And like this ain't even happiness. Like this joy, can't nobody take it from me. And I know it's the truth, and you know it's the truth. Even if you never heard this, you gotta be. It's gonna make you say, "Hey, he might get it out. Like, where did it go?" You know what I'm saying? Where did it go? You feel me? So I'll just say, with that being said, like I know I kind of dragged this out a little bit too long. I really just planned on getting it for like 10 minutes, but I'm gonna try to end this in short and just say, man, you know, you gotta ask yourself, you know, when you go outside today or wherever you go, just look around and say, where did it go? You know, we got integrated everything. We got integrated schools. We got a sport. We got sports. We got music. Everything is integrated. It's coming together. It's a difference. Change has happened, but that may be an illusion too, because it's the inevitable. It was gonna happen, and in order for bigger and better things to continue to happen, we got to take what we're doing already and go next level. We got to have a conversation. You know, race. It rattles people. People get tense because people get tense about race, and people get uneasy because of they choose to make the choice to close themselves off. It's not no bipartisan. I don't know what that means. It's not like no pool. It's not like, okay, let me hear you out. Let me hear you out. Oh, damn, I thought it was like this. But if we sit down and have healthy conversations, and that we talking about the past. If we have healthy conversations about the present, we can't forget the past, which is going to affect moving forward. You know, I'm saying take this and go be radical. I'm saying take this and go learn it, and it presents a question. You know what I mean? So it raises heightens your conscience. Like, damn, where did it go? Like, when you say something is gone, okay, did we blow up all the slave owners? Did we put all of them in a building and put a C4 on it and abolish slavery like that? Because when you tell me like a building or a new stadium is finna be built, the old stadium, usually a camera comes out, the stadium C4, and it falls, and then a new building is built. But the new building is still funded by the same building that's just down. So that's what I say with slavery. You have to look at, okay, yeah, you tore this down, but you built everything else back up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say. You gotta look at that. You gotta believe what they say. Believe what your eyes see. That's why I gave you that visual. So you could picture that. You could imagine that. But I just say, man, take that and run with it, man. Hope it was just I just say I challenge you to have that conversation with your peers or kids, co-worker, whenever the time is right. You just can't throw this on. You just can't. I don't suggest you just come out with a conversation like this, because it's definitely gonna ruffle some feathers. But it's, you know what I'm saying. I think it's to make you think, like, where did it go? Nobody never gave me that paradigm. I personally came up there with myself. You know, even, you know, just when I was in South Africa and I was, you know, like, damn, you know, and I was fresh over there and they was just fresh out of apartheid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this feel a little different. Like this what they talking about in America, but over here it's kind of like 15, 20 years removed. And you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, the what do the people that's 80 and 85 years old think about, you know, bathrooms where black and whites going into the same bathroom? Like, they reality that was not that 50, 60 years ago, 50, 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So where did it go? Is them the people that's, when I'm in Walmart yelling nigga with the ER at the end, like, you know what I'm saying? It's still, you know, it's still here because it's still happening. You know what I'm saying? It's still here. You know, it's 2025. You still seeing black men being lynched. It's still in the South. It's still in the North. It's here. It's still places as a black man I don't like to go. I feel it. Like, you know, I don't even know what it was like back then. I only know through text, but I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I feel it. You know what I mean? And I treat everybody with respect. You know what I'm saying? That's just an ideology. That's a way of thinking. But I gotta, you know, tell a young black man that's coming up, hey, bro, you might not be want to go in these parts because of history. Like, and if you don't understand that, things can happen. You know, it's still here. I'm not blaming no president. I'm not blaming Trump. I could blame Bill Clinton. You know what I mean? But I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, where did it go? You know, they call it you know what I'm saying? Where did it go? You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm signing off, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Like I said, you know, man, y'all rocking with it, comment, share. I'm gonna sign off and you know, I'll probably come back later with something, you know, if I got something interesting to talk about. But appreciate y'all tapping in. And yeah, we're gonna do it like that. Comment, subscribe, share, you know, drop a comment if it was helpful. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Run it back. Much love.